Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
7:06 on this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us on O'Connor and Company. Coming up next hour, 8 o'clock, will bring us the governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin. And then at 8:35, Representative Jason Smith, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. That's a power hour there for elected officials. But this here, Patrice Onwuka, is a power hour with the finest political journalist in D.C., Byron, New York. But first, though, good morning to you, Patrice Onwuka.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it.
Yes, we did. We made it. And he is terrific, and we love him, and he's Byron, New York. Byron, thanks for joining us. Good morning to you. What a week this was, huh?
Good morning, folks. Is it Friday already?
So you've been... sorry, go ahead.
No. It just seems like it's gone so fast.
Yeah, tell me about it. This has been quite an odyssey this week with regard to the Jeffrey Epstein saga, which really... Before we get into the latest developments, it seems to me, and again, you're a better reporter than anyone in this town on things like this, the dust-up that happened a week ago today that was leaked about Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel was mentioned as well. It seems like the big disagreement was the media handling of this by Pam Bondi, the fiasco with the binders and then the leak to Axios of the letter. But on the facts of the case, the question of whether Epstein killed himself or not, and whether there's a list, a client list, or any other damning information that should be released, they don't disagree, do they? Or that's what I'm confused about. Has Bongino or Patel publicly said, no, there's more to this story? Or are all three of them in agreement that, the case kind of is closed?
Yeah, you're correct. First of all, there's been almost no attention to the actual facts of this case, and people there seems to be kind of a mass amnesia of how much we already know about Jeffrey Epstein. If you want, for example, to talk about his death, there is a Department of Justice Inspector General report because he died in the custody Bureau of Prisons. There's a DOJ Inspector General report about his death, discussing the various little bitty bones in his neck that were broken, and they would be broken if he died this way, but would not have been broken if he were strangled. And there's all sorts of reporting on that. There has been tons and tons of public reporting. If you want not his client list, but his little black book, his address book, you can buy it on Amazon. And so these things have come out in a long period of criminal charges, litigation, and journalism over the past 15 years.
Byron, shifting gears, early this morning, or maybe very late last night, House Republicans passed the changes to their rescissions package made by the Senate. And in another stunning defeat to Democrats, I think we've seen the dismantling of virtually every Democratic stronghold, from media to, the purse strings of some of these federal agencies. What can they do next? I think the polling with even Democrat voters is just, it's in the toilet for Democratic leadership and members of Congress. Where can they go? Where are you expecting them to go next?
Yeah, remember when Democrats had a majority in the House, but it was a pretty narrow majority, and Nancy Pelosi was able to keep everybody in line, and there were all these articles about what a master of House procedure Nancy Pelosi is, and a fantastic leader, and she's able to get things done with a tiny majority in the House. Well, Mike Johnson is doing even more with a smaller majority. Yes. So I mean, you have to say he really knows what he's doing. I think one of the biggest things here, since we're talking on the radio, is the rescission move of funding for NPR, which is just extraordinary. This is something that conservatives have talked about for decades and decades and decades, and to actually get that done is one of those things that has been accomplished under Donald Trump that conservatives really could never have dreamed of in the past.
Yeah, I agree. Add that to the drilling in Anwar that got done, which, again, Republicans talked about forever, and Trump got it done.
Yeah.
I would say, though, PBS was their own enemy. The two things that made this happen, I think, ultimately, was, first of all, NPR going so far to the left. They, bragging about how they avoided the Hunter Biden laptop story, and just didn't even pretend to be objective anymore. And Sesame Street getting their big corporate deal with companies like HBO and Netflix. At that point, they lost their big talking points. Oh, you're going to kill Big Bird. Yeah, no, Big Bird's just fine. Big Bird's living better than any of us, I promise.
Well, the biggest thing is it was just outdated. What was called in an earlier generation educational television, came about at a time when there were 3 broadcast networks. There was no cable, and if you lived in a medium-sized city in America, there might be 3 broadcast networks: ABC, CBS, NBC, all of whom put together in their newscasts within a block or so of in Midtown Manhattan, reading 2 newspapers. But now there's just such an incredible variety of information that is available that it's just it's not the 1960s anymore.
PBS was relevant when you had to adjust the rabbit ears to get the signal, and half of our audience listening right now has no idea what I'm talking about.
I actually know.
Hey, Byron, back to Epstein, because you had a great column yesterday, and you said you were sort of sounding the alarm that this thing isn't going away, and it is, as you put it, a growing threat to Trump. Now that we have this Wall Street Journal article, and I would love for you to comment on the journalistic decisions that went into this Wall Street Journal article, such as it is. It appears that Trump went on the offensive last night after the Wall Street Journal article, and he's now calling for the release of the grand jury testimony, and he wants Bondi to get back on the aggressive offense on this. What do you think? How has this moved in the last 12 hours?
Yeah, he certainly did the right thing with that, in my view. It's funny. About 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, this is a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours before the Wall Street Journal piece, the Washington Post fact-checker, Glenn Kessler, published an updated account of all known contacts between Trump and Epstein, all of which ended, by the way, in 2004. They had a falling out for various reasons. And he concluded, quote, "There's no credible allegation has emerged to connect Trump to any of Epstein's crimes. If the full file is ever released, we are confident that no connection would be found." Okay, so a couple hours later, the Wall Street Journal published a super duper bombshell birthday card that kind of an elaborate birthday card that Trump sent or gave to Epstein on Epstein's 50th birthday on January 20th, 2003. So that's within that period where they were still having contact. And, Trump went bonkers about it. But, I mean, the fact is there just wasn't much there, and it doesn't advance the knowledge that we have of the Trump-Epstein relationship between, before 2004, and there was nothing after 2004, and as the fact checker said, no evidence of any Trump in Epstein crime. So
Byron,
that's important to remember.
I'm curious, as you read the Wall Street Journal article and what's alleged in there, and the way that if you had received the information that the Wall Street Journal says they received from whoever leaked this information, based on your standards and your publication standards, would you have run with that story?
Well, the story there had been gossip about the story earlier in the day that it was some bombshell about the Trump-Epstein relationship. And then you read it, and it starts with the birthday card, and you say, okay, that's the opening anecdote. Where's more? But then the whole thing, you keep going, and you're like,
right?
It's
like, okay, where's the big story? Yeah,
yeah, and so it just doesn't happen. My feeling is it's fine to publish this. I certainly thought if our listeners have read the story, it appeared to be an elaborate birthday card. Okay, someone drew the figure of a nude woman, and there was writing, typing or something inside, and then Trump signed his signature, and in an odd way, and so they have this elaborate description of this thing, but they don't show it to us.
Yeah, just show it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
J.D. Vance tweeted that says they never showed, the Wall Street Journal, never showed it to Trump. So I don't get that it's just not like a Hallmark card that you buy at the drugstore. This was some elaborate production. I have no problem with it being reported or being in the public view. My position on all of this has been that we should release all of this stuff that can legally be released. I mean, there were a lot of young victims in this case. We need to remember that, and so we don't release information about them. But as far as anything that can be released, I think it should be released.
All right, we'll leave it there. Byron, have a great weekend. Hopefully it'll be a quiet one, but don't bet the farm on that.
Thanks, guys.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Good news, Patrice. I mean, between the Meghan Markle podcast and the Michelle Obama podcast that she does with her sexually ambiguous brother, we have plenty of podcast content that we enjoy making fun of. But now we have a new one. We mentioned this the other day. Jamie Harrison, the former chair of the DNC, has decided that he's going to be the left's Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Sorry. I couldn't say it with a straight face. And so he's got two blockbuster guests to launch his podcast, Tim Walz and Hunter Biden, on two separate episodes. So let's start with Hunter. By the way, can I just say, if you want to be a huge podcaster and make a big splash in the new media scene and platform, I know a little bit about this thing. I've been in the business for years. I started this with Andrew Breitbart in 2009 with a live streaming show when nobody was doing this, all right? Let me just tell you something. If you really want to be huge, don't make all your initial shows about who your guest is. Because, let's face it, it's got to be about you, right? I mean...
So you're attracting people to what you bring to the table, and then after a while you start to filter in the guests so that it's okay. I hear you saying.
If what you bring to the table is booking Hunter Biden, then that's not a whole lot to brag about. Hey, everybody, listen to my podcast because I have Tim Walz. That's not it. You say, hey, everybody, listen to my podcast because I have something to say that's unique and different and entertaining and engaging and informative. And all right, enough of that. Here's Hunter, and I'm sure everything he's saying here is 100% true because if there's anyone that's really trustworthy out there, it's Hunter Biden. Cut 10.
Do you think Joe Biden was involved in some cover-up? Do you think Jake Tapper's telling the truth when he says that I was the acting chief of staff of the president? I was in that White House 12 days over the course of the last 2 years of the administration. Clearly, because I had other things going on. Okay? You ask one person to go on the record that would ever tell you that I was in any way making a single decision about anything in that White House. I stayed as far away as I possibly could, which, by the way, broke my heart.
Are we supposed to feel sad for him?
Well, first of all, I thought he lived in the White House for a while there.
Was that when they found the cocaine or after you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And the July 4th event there, remember? And after the debate, he was there quite. That's just. But see, here's the problem. Jamie, what's his name again? Harrison? The former chair of the DNC, he's not going to lean and say, well, hold on a minute. I could have sworn over the course of 4 years I saw you at the White House more than just 12 days. He's not going to press him. He's not going to push him on that. He didn't have anything to sort of the point of this is not to get the truth. The point is to let Hunter continue to lie. What's the point?
If you want this, if he wants this podcast to go viral, here's what he should ask Hunter: how many women did you smoke cocaine off of?
Wait, whoa!
I mean, go salacious and then dial it back. Were you preparing to go to federal prison for the gun charges? Mm-hmm. Do you own a gun right now? I mean, there are a lot of other things that I think he could have asked rather than giving Hunter Biden the platform to clear up his record and his name, which, by the way, that's not going to work. I mean, I think everybody at this point is hands washed of Hunter Biden?
So this is, as most podcasts now are being uploaded to the YouTube platform, it is the largest platform with the largest audience available. And, of course, there is video to accompany it, although you don't have to have video for a podcast to be on YouTube. Let me just say that episode 1 has been uploaded now to the podcast is called At Our Table with Jamie Harrison. At Our Table with Jamie Harrison. I'm checking the account. It has 169 subscribers, which it just got up to 170. Excuse me. It's at 170 subscribers. And the first episode with Governor Tim Walz has a total of 627 views so far.
Wow.
This is after 24 hours on the YouTube platform. That's
listen, I think the
not
Democrats,
great.
They're trying to replicate what conservatives and, frankly, independent journalists, and commentators have successfully hit on, and they're so bad at it because they're so inauthentic. I don't think they get the point.
Well, to be fair, he did break some news. Here's episode 1, Tim Walz, cut 11, where this is actually newsworthy. Take a listen.
Things differently.
Last two quick questions. First question that people would kill me if I didn't ask. You think about running in 2028?
I am not. And my job, and I say that, I am doing all I can to help build the party and make sure whoever that person is wins.
Well, we appreciate it.
And I think we need to flood the zone with people.
Hold on. That's not how you ask the question. Are you thinking about running? That's not the question. No, I'm not thinking about it. I've already decided. I'm not thinking about it, but I probably will once I do think about it. That's not. Are you going to run? What would be the reason why you are running? Why wouldn't you run? Oh, it's the worst.
Are you supporting the former vice president who was your running mate if she decides to run again? How come he why did he say flood the zone? Why did Tim Walz say flood the zone rather than, we need to get behind Kamala Harris because I know this time she can do it. We can get her over the line.
And where's the follow-up from Jimmy saying, what do you mean flood the zone? Shouldn't we all be coalescing behind Kamala Harris, who we just said is the most transcendent political figure in American history? It's 7:24.
All right. Is it ever a good idea as a CEO to be hugging up on your chief HR person at a concert, especially when you two are married to other people? We'll share this story and more. Stay with us. It's O'Connor and Company at 7:30.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 7:37. It's O'Connor and Company. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, you're going to want to hear the whole hour. Governor Glenn Youngkin joins us at 8:05, and then at 8:35, Representative Jason Smith, chairman of Ways and Means. That's a big hour. It's Larry O'Connor with Patrice Onwuka. Good morning. It's Onwuka, right? Is that how we pronounce it?
It's not.
Galunka?
Oh, I thought we...
Palunka?
Honk. Miss...
What was that, Bernie? How do you pronounce it? Mazonka?
No, it is Mrs. Patrice Onwuka.
Yeah, Patrice was on Capitol Hill in front of the Senate Finance Committee, and that was Bernie Sanders mangling her name because he's racist. All right, we got to talk about Coldplay, so let's just get right to it. All right, first of all, there were a lot of, I'm sure everyone has seen this story by now, but we'll refresh you. But sadly, in the fallout here, were a lot of unfair assaults on the integrity of Coldplay's musical ability.
Oh, really?
And I will admit it, I actually like Coldplay. I actually do.
What's wrong with that? That's fine.
I like yacht rock, too, so there's that. A video went viral. This actually broke during the show yesterday. I was sort of watching it go, but we didn't have all the details on it. All we knew at the time when the story first broke was at a Coldplay concert, they did a little thing where a camera picked up loving couples all sort of like...
it's like a kiss cam.
Yeah, sort of like that. And they put it on the big wide screen. And they caught a couple on the screen, and immediately when they saw themselves on the screen, the guy drops to the floor, like to his knees, to get out of the camera shot and hide behind the seat.
Yes.
And the woman turns around. And the singer here, you can listen to what the singer for Coldplay says. Here, go.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Well, it was the former, not the latter. They were having an affair, and it was uncovered.
Yeah.
So that went viral. Later, we found out that the guy is the CEO of a company called Astronomer. His name is Andy Byron. And the woman is the Chief Human Resources Officer, Kristen Cabot. They work together, and they were caught having an affair. They are both married. And
to other people.
To other people, yes. And so it's been outed, and it became a thing over the last 24 hours. Now, I personally, listen, if you're in a public place and you're having an affair and you're at a concert, I love that their statements were like, I can't believe our privacy was invaded. You don't have a sense of privacy when you're at a concert with 50,000 people. What about all the people you were in front of flaunting your affair? Number one. Number two, but I personally, I love the fact that this is a CEO and an head of HR. How many outrageous, boring, insulting seminars and
on
quarterly
workplace
review,
harassment and all
about workplace harassment, about inappropriate work relationships, inappropriate Me Too movement and all that. And here they are playing hide the salami when the boss's door is closed. I mean, this is outrageous. Good for them. I'm glad they got outed.
Can I just read you Mrs. Kristen Cabot's LinkedIn message here? She says, I lead by example and win trust with employees of all levels, from CEOs to managers to assistants. Oh, we know, Kristen. She goes on to say, I've been energized in my conversations with Andy Byron. We know why you've been energized. And she says the Astronomer leadership about the opportunities that exist here, including aiding our employees' career development. I prefer to think of my role as people strategy versus traditional human resources, as the real magic happens when you align people strategy with business strategy. What kind of strategies were she and the CEO aligning together on?
My gosh.
Is
so
my
that's
question.
her LinkedIn bio? That's her LinkedIn
Yeah,
bio?
well, she puts that on LinkedIn. It's a post that she made on LinkedIn.
I've been energized in my conversations with Andy Byron, our CEO. Is that what happens? She goes in, excuse me, Mr. Byron, we need to have a meeting. And she closes the door, and then she says, energize me, Andy.
This sounds like soft porn. But, this sounds like the opening of, some really graphic. This would make good graphic novel for somebody out there who's interested in writing about it. It's a shame, and it's shameful. Marriage, listen, Larry, can I just say, marriage is beautiful. It is honored. It's by God. It's a beautiful thing when people actually honor their vows. And if you want to be an example, honor your vows. And if you don't want to be example, leave your spouse and go be with yourselves. But don't be, sneaking behind closed doors, or actually in public concerts by Coldplay or Nickelback, if you like Nickelback, which I happen to like too.
Hey, don't lump Coldplay in with Nickelback. See, this is what I'm talking about. Come on.
I'm giving them both compliments. Aren't they both good bands?
Nickelback. All right. Well,
anyway.
It is a great commentary on corporate culture where we all have to sit through these training sessions from HR people exactly like her who lecture us about making a workplace joke or a side comment, or technically I'm not supposed to say, hey, you look really pretty today. No, how dare you? How dare you say such a thing? That's a fireable offense. And these two, who knows what's going on under the table at their board meetings. I'm absolutely outrageous. And yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, everyone, he put out a statement, this pathetic little twerp. He put out a statement, and it started out just fine. I take responsibility. This is horrible. I feel terrible. I'm going to try to repair my marriage, whatever. And then at the end said, however, I'd like to say that people's lives should not be exposed if they're trying to have a private moment. And he's basically trying to blame Coldplay for this, and blame the band for putting them on the screen. It's like, dude, And others
don't be
for
hugged up
documenting.
on your HR lady at a
Yes.
Coldplay concert. Then you don't have to worry about being caught on the kiss cam. Maybe if they
He's
were
the
actually just
victim.
standing next to each other, it would have been fine, and nobody would have known that they had something going on. But he's like, his hands are, just half an inch shorter than totally inappropriate, needing to be censored, kind of,
No,
canoodling in
he's
public.
the victim in all of this, absolutely. And I just imagine what it's like to be his wife,
know.
pulling up
Or her
Facebook or
husband.
Instagram or
Yeah.
X and seeing this video. Let's just say it's the last way you want to find out that your husband likes Coldplay. It's 7:44.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
There have been a lot of conspiracy theories and speculation online and in the media with reporters questioning Donald Trump's health and disposition.
Yes.
I know that's quite the joke considering the lack of curiosity over Joe Biden's obvious health concerns. But yesterday at the press briefing, Caroline Levitt did confirm a couple of things that are going on with the president's health. Here's cut 15, please.
Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified.
All right. So long story short, and by the way, way more thorough than any health update we ever got from Jen Psaki or Karine Jean-Pierre. Obviously, there had been scenes of pictures of the president, and it looked like he had swollen ankles and maybe a bruised hand. Turns out he has what's called chronic venous insufficiency, and he's got some bruising, apparently, from aspirin and from shaking hands in his soft tissue. It's all very minor. Sadly, to Democrats' dismay, Trump is perfectly healthy.
Well, you know what? I just applaud the transparency. I think it's important for us to know what's going on with the president, good, bad, or indifferent, so that people can rest assured that their president is healthy, safe, and capable of leading the nation, and not, wondering every day who's actually leading in his stead. Does he even know what's going on? Those are the questions that are still being investigated right now from the previous administration.
And the previous administration continues to plead the fifth against self-incrimination when asked basic questions about it. It's 7:53.